That you can't say that now, yet alone back then, I would think. Yeah.
have a group of teachers
Yeah.
called industrial arts teachers
Uh-huh.
in high school, and that's from electronics to woodworking. And I think they are really what encouraged me to build my entire own home.
Yeah.
I hired a guy to lay carpet, and I hired a guy to hang my stuff.
Sure. There you go. Okay.
Both were Christian people.
There you go. Good. Mine was Mrs. Phillips, and she always took time for us. She was just a cool teacher. She was the cool teacher. Wasn't young by any means at the time, but she was just great. She was there for us. She did a lot of stuff for us. She always encouraged us, and I think our whole class, you ask anybody in high school who their favorite teacher was, they'll say, Carol Phillips, Carol Phillips. She's going to get mad at me for saying she wasn't young, but I mean, she wasn't like close to our age. It was, you know, she was, because sometimes people like the young teachers because they're younger and cooler and closer. She was probably in her 30s when she had us, and we were a bunch of knuckleheaded middle school kids, and she was firm with us, but she loved us and she encouraged us and she had fun with us and she knew her stuff, and that was her gift, was encouragement. And she led our drama department when we moved up to high school. She was great. She was great. What was it was there a common theme that you guys heard about the teachers that made an influence? Was there a common theme? Was it their book smarts? Was it their technical expertise that made a difference?
I think it was their heart, their dedication.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? You know, we have a saying in the teaching world. Maybe you heard it, and maybe you can say some of the Bible verses or things like that. But I couldn't remember some of the Bible verses or things like that. But I couldn't remember one thing Mrs. Phillips taught. Sorry, she's watching. I already called her. I already said she was older. That was a mistake. I don't remember any. If you could. Sum up the entire Bible in one phrase, what would you say? If you could sum up the entire Bible in one word, one phrase, what would you say?
Psalms 4:6, be still and know.
Be still and know. They didn't like each other, the Sadducees and Pharisees, so I can only imagine how they didn't like each other, the Sadducees and Pharisees, so I can only imagine how that conversation went. One of them, an expert in the law, tested Jesus with this question: Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and your mind. Love one another and love God. Everything can hang on that phrase. And first question tonight is, are you content and comfortable that the whole Bible can be summed up with love God, love your neighbor? Or does it trouble you in some way? Because in the Jesus style, we're going to be talking about love tonight and how important it is. If you could sum up Jesus in one reason, you know, we know He died on the cross, we know He died for our sins, and we know He come to save us. But the heart of John 3:16 is what? The reason why He did all these things is because He loved us. And we should love Him and love our fellow neighbor. And if you want to, maybe even go on ours, I don't know. But he said it's really interesting when you go through a lot of doctrinal, and I haven't done that this week. You can if you want to. You can, like I said, you can look at our website and see. But if you go to a lot of doctrinal websites, creeds, mission statements, even Christian ones, how many just spell out our mission is to love God and love people. You know, we worry so much about, as we should, worry about the doctrine and the certain philosophies and certain principles. And if I were to say, you can sum up the whole mission, you can sum up the whole Bible, it's all about we love And the God that loves with no limits, no boundaries. Okay. What else do you think?
You know, there were a lot of conflicts in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, but throughout it, God still loved his people. He took care of them, and so, I mean, from the very beginning to the very end,
Okay.
it's all about how he cared for them and us, and the us is to come yet.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everything's kind of summed up in that. Do you think we're missing something? Does anybody kind of like, I don't know. Does that sit okay with that? Is it anybody a little bit uncomfortable? Think, ooh, we might be missing something. I don't know. I don't want to argue with Jesus, but
I'd like to say I'm not God.
okay.
That he's forgiving me.
Yeah. And why did he do that?
Say again, why?
Why did he do that? Why does he forgive us?
Love.
Yeah.
But it's his love, and I love him. I've said it here before, I know, that God loved Hitler.
Yeah. Jesus' enemy, and he loved you. So, challenge, yeah. Let's look at 1 Corinthians 13. It's probably the big thing about love. And how would you spot? How could you tell? How would you go about defining or deciding if someone is a loving person? I mean, how do you know who is a loving person? How would you go about deciding? Yeah, really. Okay, not mean, not hateful. Okay. A biblical way, okay. Yeah, Carol?
I'm going to say they're going to be a peacemaker.
They're peacemakers, okay. Okay. Yeah.
I'd like to think people look at me and see a soul winner in their hands with it.
Okay. Somebody that's sharing the gospel and winning souls to Christ would be a loving person, okay. How else would you spot that I do? 1 John 3:6, not John 3:16, but 1 John 3:16 is that I do. 1 John 3:6, not John 3:16, but 1 John 3:16 is fun too. This is how we know what love is fun too. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ